In this video, we're going to talk about how to add and subtract rational expressions. So again, starting with regular numerical fractions. So when we're adding 3/5 plus 1/5, this is asking us if I have 3 1/5 pieces plus another 1/5 piece, how many 1/5 pieces do I have altogether? I have 4 1/5 pieces. So this is 4/5. If I have 8 11th pieces and I take away 5 of those 11th pieces, how many 11th pieces do I have left? I have 3 left of the 11th pieces, so 3/11ths. So when we're adding and subtracting fractions, the rules are different from multiplying and dividing. We are not adding or subtracting the denominators. We're adding and subtracting the numerators. The denominator stays the same because it tells us what the piece is. If we do not have the same denominators when we start, then we need to get the same denominators, and we can do that by finding equivalent fractions. So if I'm trying to add 7/8 plus 3/4, I need to change my fourths to eighths, and I can do that by multiplying numerator and denominator by 2. So 7/8 plus 6/8 is a total of 13/8. If we want to subtract 5/6 minus 5/7, this time I also don't have a common denominator, but it's a little more work to find one, because I can't just multiply one of the numbers in order to get the same thing as the other number. I need to multiply both. So I'm going to multiply the second fraction by 6 on the top and bottom, and the first fraction by 7 on the top and bottom. So we have 35 over 42 minus 30 over 42, which leaves me with 5 over 42. So to explain how to add and subtract fractions, we add or subtract the numerators. Actually, I'm going to start with, you must have the same denominator. If you do not get the same denominator first by finding equivalent fractions. Add or subtract the numerators, the denominator stays the same. So same idea applies here when we're working with fractions that have variables in them. First I check, do I have the same denominator in both? So for this first one, I do. The denominator is 23. So I can go ahead and add 4x plus x is 5x, and my denominator is 23. Now at this point, it's good to check if I can simplify anything. In this case, I can't because 5 and 23 do not have any factors in common, so that's my answer. Looking at part B, do I have the same denominator? No. I have x and I have x squared. So to get a common denominator, I'm going to multiply the first fraction by x because I know that x needs to be multiplied by x to get x squared. So that's going to give me 4x over x squared plus 5 over x squared. And now that I have common denominators, I can add the pieces together. 4x plus 5 over x squared. And for part C, now I'm subtracting. Do I have common denominators? Yes. It's kind of ugly, 5x minus 6, but it's a common denominator. So now I'm going to subtract. So we have 7x minus 6 over 5x minus 6. And again, you might be tempted to cancel these 6's. You can't do that because they aren't factors. They are subtracted from another piece, so they are not a factor on their own. They can't be canceled. This is just going to be my answer.